It's like a stairwell treatment with a glass. Yeah, absolutely. I think the creative process can be incredibly isolating, and that's something that I think all artists need to find ways of managing. Or my practice has been highly collaborative for the last several years. So actually starting with the star printer work, that was sort of the first time I really reached out and was working with people in other fields, for example. And that's been a really rich and rewarding process, working with other creatives, other researchers. So you're not working by yourself all of a sudden. And I think also as an artist, it's important to maintain other aspects of your life, making sure you have good friendships, making sure that you nurture your creative networks and stay connected with your family, all those sorts of things. My process, I guess I'm really a conceptual artist at the sort of the core of my practice. So that part of the process, generally, I have to do by myself. And I enjoy spending time by myself. I love traveling alone. I don't have any problem being by myself. And especially in a studio context, I like to be able to close the door. I think it's important to let your mind wander through space freely without bumping up against other people. So as much as I enjoy collaborative environments, solitude is super important. So one of the things that I like to do is go running or walking by myself. I quite often get up at 5 in the morning and enjoy that time where there's nobody else in the world. Everybody else is sleeping. And just to give your mind that freedom to expand. Yeah, and I think that's an ever-changing thing. Like, human relationships are always in flux, so managing collaborative relationships is not always easy. Sometimes that's very stressful. Other times it's incredibly joyous and incredibly rewarding. And I think I've decided there is no balance in life. Yeah, and I'm not necessarily, I've decided work-life balance is a myth. I don't think that exists. I don't have work-life balance. And to the point where maybe it's actually the turmoil that makes life interesting. I remember having a conversation with somebody once who was pursuing, sort of Buddhist philosophy, seeking to sort of find this equilibrium of peace for himself. And at the time I was working with clouds in my studio, so I was like, I don't want blue sky thinking, I like clouds. So I think there's something about change and constantly being challenged that is actually really energetic. I don't know. Not that I'm seeking conflict or any of those kinds of things, but I think it's a constant recalibration of everything. I have done a lot of durational experiential works, and I think a lot about tuning the environment so that I guess it comes down to control. I want to control as much of the audience's experience as possible. So I think about things like step height and the journey into the gallery. What's the weather doing outside? What's the temperature? What's the lighting conditions in the spaces before you even get to the work? All of those things are really important to me. And at some point, obviously, as an artist, you have to let go of that control. So the work has one meaning for me, but it might have quite different meanings for other people. And again, I guess that's where the success of a work can shine through. If there's that range of possibility, so that I set up with a certain intention of what I want the audience to experience, but what I'm presenting has a richness or a diversity of possibility that it can go in any way. So, for example, I really feel like it's not artists' job to solve problems, or I think we should rather create problems. And I don't ever want to be didactic in my works either. So I don't want to tell people how to think. I want to present a possibility for feeling, I guess, and experiencing, particularly on a bodily level. So the sort of the sensation of being in your body. I've always been obsessed with creating work underground, for example. I love the idea of giving people hard hats and introducing that sort of physical bodily risk into the situation. This is on the bucket list of artworks that I haven't made yet. As much as I say I want to control everything about an artwork, it's impossible. And that's also where the possibilities for amazing things happen. Like I remember doing a work once, it was a choir performance that we performed outside at dusk, and a woman came up to me a couple of months later and told me that she saw her dead brother in the sky that night as a result of seeing the work. You know, this is not something as an artist you can possibly predict, but if you can create an atmosphere where these sorts of experiences are possible, then, you know, amazing. Like, I've done my job.